everyone. I'm Charan Dasagrandhi. Hope everyone is safe and secure. Today we are with you to discuss about an interesting topic from an interesting person, personality who has been doing a lot of research. Let me get into the top point. So, to uplift standards of society, it is not the expensive lifestyles that we need. Rather, what we need is a knowledge-based society. This will give power to people to transform their lives and societies. So we have many examples in the past, present, and the same applies even in the future too. So that is why we say knowledge is power. So complete world aims for knowledge-based society. But the point here is, what progress have you made in this process? So this question continues to haunt us, in fact, from past many years, despite we had many breakthroughs in technology, be it in the economic policies and all. But despite that, this question continues to be the same. So in this regard, today we will discuss on the topic marching towards knowledge-based society. So we will explore challenges and strategies in knowledge creation to dissemination. So today we have with us Yasmine, the founder of ENC, that is EducNation Club, which aims to empower societies with knowledge-based approach. So welcome, Yasmine.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here today. So I'm Yasmine Nina Benhalima. I spearhead EducNation Club, a company which aims to simplify the complexity of the forces shaping the digital world through truthful information and high quality education. I completed my academic credentials in economics and politics and international economic policy from respectively Queen Mary University of London, Sciences Po Paris, and I'm also an upcoming global business student at Harvard Business School. Let me tell you how I came up with the EducNation Club. After the COVID-19 outbreak, I have witnessed how the world was grappling with various challenges, such as the recession, the climate crisis, digital transformations, and also inequalities. Those are of utmost importance, and yet there is a lack of understanding and education among those. And this is why I founded EducNation Club, to bridge the information and knowledge gap about those forces. And one should also remember that by sowing and spreading knowledge into the society, as you rightfully said, progress can be accelerated, entrepreneurial opportunities can be generated, and humanity can be enlifted. And this is really the spirit and the heart of the EducNation Club, ENC.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting start, in fact. And the vision with which you started is really appreciable, because that is what the need of the hour is in today's world, because we are overloaded with information, but not knowledge. So that's a challenge for us.
Exactly.
So we'll start the interview. First question is how important is right knowledge to uplift society?
Well, knowledge is the foundation of any society, any organization, any country, and accessing the right knowledge is paramount to uplift society. Once one has access to right knowledge, which could be defined as an unbiased knowledge, she can develop awareness, and at the society level, we get collective awareness. So once developed at both the individual and the society level, citizens can then identify the right impactful opportunities. Today, we speak about business with an impact, for example. And this is good because it allows for overall progress through those opportunities, but also the improvement of people's quality of life. And here I'm, for example, talking about health, but also, as I said, education. And this is good for the development of the society and overall productivity.
Yeah, true. Definitely, knowledge definitely drives societies in a positive way and empowers everyone. So in turn, societies also get empowered, as said. Yeah, but I mean, as you rightly pointed out, the word unbiased. So we all know that knowledge is power. Like most organizations are, sharing knowledge with preoccupied thoughts or agendas. So in this case, the question is, how do we give this unbiased and trustworthy knowledge to the world?
Well, Knowledge is power, as you said, but I will also add that knowledge is infinite, and this is important. Giving unfettered and trustworthy knowledge to the world, first of all, can be done at school, university, but one should also use the tools that we have, internet, social networks, by keeping a critical mindset. This is important even more today when we are in a society in which information is flowing around. It's important to be critical. And just by using books, accessing books, articles, we have many articles, great articles in the internet, such as the one that you wrote on Innovation Bank. And as I've added to your statement, knowledge is infinite. This is important because the society is ever evolving. So it is important to remain curious at the individual level and develop a continuous willingness to learn. So one needs to be willing to invest in knowledge, in education, in university, in books, in courses provided by online universities. And again, one should remember that one's knowledge is his, her identity, and also his, her strength.
Yeah, I think, in order to differentiate the right knowledge, and because of the internet, a lot of information, everyone has a right to put information onto the digital platforms of internet. So the challenge now is which is right and which is wrong, because especially in our the current pandemic crisis, if you see, a lot of misinformation is just creating chaos. And pandemic is the best example to show that not providing the authentic information will really spoil the situation, because a lot of the be it social media, be it on websites, a lot of wrong practices are being distributed, which people are following it and falling for this particular disease or whatever it is. So how do we ensure that authenticity of knowledge? So that's a basic question, I think we have to address. So how do we authenticate that this is right?
Well, first of all, as I said, it's important to remain critical. Having this critical mindset is key. Then one should pay attention to the sources as well as the background of the person spreading the information. So academic background, professional background. One should also try to read several articles by key journalists, by key institutions, and then make an opinion based on those. Never take everything for granted. Keep this critical mindset. I would say that being critical is very important.
Yeah, as you said, I think in order to authenticate, I think, as you said, the critical thinking is something which is required. Yeah, the critical thinking and the which backs by the analysis, the analytical aspect of it. So I think that's true, as you said. So one more thing, what comes in challenge here is knowledge is good, but knowledge dissemination is critical, in fact. So what are the challenges we should be overcoming in this process? Like what challenges, especially you are sharing a lot of information through your website and a lot of your initiatives. So what challenges you face in the knowledge dissemination process?
It's important to be aware of the existence of fake news, also called misinformation. It's very important to filter the information, the data that we get, and to rely on some key sources, some key journals, key media that we have access to. I think of Financial Times, Project Syndicate, for example, and also it's important to read the articles written by the international institutions, the World Economic Forum, WTO as well, central banks, so on and so forth. It's important to have, I would say, 4 or 5 sources which are great sources, and then filter all the information that we get on social networks and on the internet.
Okay, so this is a process you follow in, categorizing the knowledge and sharing it with people.
Yes, I of course I have access to all the articles that are on the internet, on social networks, but I really rely on 3 or 4 key sources, and then I make my own opinion, and I try to remain critical as well. And it's important to invest in education. it's important to read books, to read articles, to pay subscription, so on and so forth, because those will allow to be critical and to have the, I would say, the right approach to all this information.
Yeah, definitely they will give a lot of data points for us, to at least to broaden our thinking and analyze different perspectives and draw a conclusion about what is right and what is wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, and also like another part is like I mean, yes, this might look little similar to the one previously just we discussed, but knowledge validation. So knowledge validation is something which is very important. So how do we go with it basically? So validate knowledge. Yes, as I said, universities, reading journals, it's good, but are there any other ways would you suggest as a part of knowledge validation, because that is very critical part of knowledge?
So I would say that in my humble opinion, the right knowledge, the validated knowledge, the trustworthy knowledge incorporates critical thinking, evidence, facts, and also accountability for leveraging the knowledge at the society level. This is important.
Yeah, thank you. And can you just share some points what your film follows to take right knowledge in people? So how do you decide that what to be taken and what is right knowledge and that should be pushed into people or shared with people? So what your film does in this process?
Well, we ensure that people, current and new generation, are equipped with knowledge and information, and our emphasis are really quality and trust. And to do so, we aim to spread the right information by remaining critical to our global audience. We deliver talks with qualified guests coming from EU Commission, Alibaba Business School, and by the way, I highly encourage the audience to listen to our podcast episode on populism and autocracy with Sergei Guriev, who is professor at Sciences Po Paris, because we tackle the issue of misinformation. And this was a very enlightful discussion. We also host conferences, workshops for our audience with qualified speakers. And we're also going to foster partnerships with international institutions and universities all over the globe. In this way, we get trust and quality.
Yeah, definitely. What you said is absolutely good. Yeah, I think I think I'm done with all my questions. So
Thank you.
I think it was short and very meaningful discussion, I feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Yasmine, for your time and for your for sharing your expertise with us, so that everyone constantly reads something or the other in their life. But the point is, misinformation should not mislead them. So right knowledge takes people into right path. So that you are able to clear today how to go in this process.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, do you have anything to share other than this history and all you want? Would you like to share anything?
Well, as I said, invest in education, invest in university, invest in books, whether it is hard copies, Kindles, PDF. We have the tools. We need the curiosity and the willingness to learn. This is important. Otherwise, well, you can join me on Instagram and LinkedIn at EducNation Club. You can add me on LinkedIn as well, Yasmine Nina Benhalima. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, thank you, Yasmine.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you.